when they want to try, look, even for me personally, my character, they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snake.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask him who I told on.
Paperwork.
I ain't never told on no in my life.
Yeah.
In the Prem situation, look at this case. It'll tell you who told on him.
Right.
My name ain't in that case.
Innocent or guilty, criminal or citizen, that could get them anytime for any.
Okay, if you know anything about 50 Cent, then you know crossing him is a dangerous move. And T found that out the hard way when 50 started dragging him through the dirt over those long-running snitching allegations. That label has been stuck on T for years, and it's brought him nothing but disrespect from his peers, the streets, and even some former fans who turned their backs. 50 was one of the loudest voices stirring things up from the jump. T tried to act unbothered and brush off 50's shots, but the drama only got messier with time, and soon, T was clapping back. You'd think he'd know better than to poke the bear, but nope, he went and challenged 52 20-track versus battle, even daring him on his own birthday for maximum disrespect. And of course, this only made 50 even more petty. He pulled out that old 2008 Crime Stoppers ad where T was telling folks to report crimes, and the internet went crazy over it. But here's the wild part. 50 and Tip actually used to be tight. They had tracks together, they showed love publicly, and both were winning big in the game. Still, no matter how much success T racks up, those snitching allegations keep chasing him like a shadow. And 50, along with plenty of others, just won't let it die down.
Crime, say, look, if it say, sir, did you see such and such and such, do such and such and such? Oh, wait a minute, only time, the only time.
Only one place in the federal guidelines where you can have 10 machine and get 1 year of community service and 1 year incarcerated.
I said, how you feel when them New York and shit like 50 and all them niggas be trying to do all that old?
I'ma tell you something. When you're fighting.
Recently, rumors started flying that T was supposed to land the role of Davis Man in Power, but got iced out because of his beef with 50. T tried to shut it all down, saying it's fake news, that he and 50 are cool and respect each other. But funny enough, 50 hasn't confirmed a single word of it. But how did T end up stuck with this snitching rep that keeps 50 and others keeping their distance? How did things between 50 and Tip spiral so bad? And what's really going down between them today? Let's break it all down. See, 50 and T go way back. Their beef ain't fresh news. Outside of clowning him non-stop on social media, 50's main issues with Tip boiled down to a few things. First, T's non-stop begging for a Verzu showdown. He just wouldn't let it go. And then there's the bigger problem. T talking slick about East Coast rappers like 50, while that old Crime Stoppers ad was still haunting him. Back in 2007, Tip landed in serious heat after getting busted on heavy charges and staring down the barrel of a possible 20-year prison sentence. So, what did he do? He popped up in a public service announcement telling folks to help fight crime, trying to polish up his image after the arrest. You already know that AD rubbed a lot of T's peers the wrong way, and they wasted no time branding him with that snitch label, and of course, 50 Cent was one of the first to hop on that train.
They try to use that I needed to order protection, but why it feels like I'm the out here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection. And
he threw direct shots at Tip on G-Unit's track. You so tough, spitting, get knocked with 10 machine guns, only get 12 months. Hey, don't talk to me, you talking to him, you talking to them. I got the best lawyers money can buy. They said they would have got me 10 or maybe 9. That verse had everybody side-eyeing T, wondering how he skated through charges that should have buried him. How do you explain how homie breathes? They said, keep your mouth shut, or you eat the cheese. That bar was 50 calling out T.I.'s whole situation from 2007, when Tip went ghost at the Bet Hip Hop Awards. Just hours before he was set to hit the stage, he got snatched up on federal charges. Turns out, his own bodyguard, who was secretly working as an informant, handed over 3 machine guns and 2 silencers to T after Tip dropped $12,000 cash for them. Here's the wild part. T was already a convicted felon, so legally, he wasn't even supposed to touch weapons like that. But even after pleading guilty, his punishment came out shockingly light.
What's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIPS. Channel 2, Community.
Instead of facing years behind bars, Tip got a single year of house arrest. 1,500 hours of community service, and an undefined prison stretch that barely stuck. Meanwhile, 50 kept pointing out on you, so tough that with the best legal team in the game, those charges normally carry 9 to 10 solid years in the pen. But somehow, T skated free, and 50 was straight up hinting the deal came with some heavy strings attached. Like maybe T had to do a little talking in exchange for that lighter sentence. When 50's shots are coming at you, well, you already know. Not long after You So Tough dropped, 50 was asked about the situation in an interview, and he played it slick, saying it was up to the public to decide if he was talking about Tip or not. But reading between the lines, it was clear 50 didn't even have to say his name. People already had T stamped with that snitch label. Now, when T got asked about it back then, right around the time G-Unit released the track, he still tried to give 50 the benefit of the doubt. But let's keep it real. Tip couldn't clap back too hard anyway because the feds had their eyes locked on him heavy. Still, you already know it was only a matter of time before this drama came crawling back. And sure enough, fast forward to 2020, that old Crime Stoppers video resurfaced online. Smack in the middle of all the chaos surrounding Tekashi's snitch scandal.
To be perfectly honest with you, man, I gotta deal with each situation as how I hear it come out of the person's mouth. You can misinterpret songs, lyrics, you know what I'm saying? When you're being interviewed and someone asks you, how do you feel about this? Yeah. I gotta take that. I gotta take your verbal rather than listen to your lyrics and jump to a conclusion. And when I heard him speaking on it, he said he wasn't talking about me, you know what I'm saying?
Tekashi 6ix9ine was deep in his racketeering case, testifying against 2 alleged 9 Trey members, and the streets were already buzzing about snitching, so when 50 Cent caught wind of T.I.'s old Crime Stoppers ad, he couldn't resist throwing shade. He jumped on Twitter and wrote, "The first song I'm going to play, You So Tough." That was 50 clowning tips, Verzu challenge while reposting the infamous Crime Stoppers video along with an audio clip of the diss track. And of course, it didn't take long for T to bite the bait. He stormed into the comments section to clap back at 50's post, firing off denials left and right. Tip was quick to insist he never snitched or helped the authorities take down anyone. But he didn't stop there. He kept pushing back like his whole reputation was on the line. T even flipped the script, hinting that maybe 50 was projecting and throwing shade about whether 50 had his own secrets in a rumored snitching past. Tip clapped back, writing, "The video clip is cute, in poor taste, but cute. However, I prefer facts. I've never given any information to any form of law enforcement to get nobody no time for no crime ever." 50 Cent, can you say the same? But Tip didn't stop there. He went even harder by reposting 50's diss on his own IG and dropping a long heated caption. Once again, he pressed for that Verzu showdown, writing, "I'll take this as an acceptance of his catalog challenge. We got him. He bit the bait. Set this up so I can finally shut this watermelon head, invisible neck ninja up once and for all." And even in the middle of all that fire, Tip doubled down, swearing once more that he never snitched on anybody.
Never nothing negative. So, and like he said this in conversation at the same time. He said, man, he's never had a problem with saying people's names when he's speaking on them. And like that's not like 50. If he going at somebody, he usually say their name and make it known. It's usually not ever whether or not. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's just unnecessary to jump to a conclusion.
T kept swinging, writing, "As far as this clip goes, it's cute, old, outdated, and in poor taste. Much like your catalog, 50 Cent. However, I prefer facts, and the fact remains. I have never given any information to any form of law enforcement at any time in life to get anybody any time for any crime. Supreme told me to ask 50 Cent if he can say the same." He wasn't done yet. Tip doubled down, saying, "That's all I got to say about that. So, let's set this date, pick your songs off that one hot album you got, and let's lay your little overrated, outdated, steroid-inflated catalog to rest. RIP to 50 Cent's catalog. I've seen you clowning and winning battles with ninjas for years. But not the king though, you picked the wrong one. Bring me clearly." 50 had struck a nerve because Tip just couldn't stop himself. He went all out, doing the absolute most to clear his name from those snitching rumors. Right after blasting 50 in that IG post, Tip jumped on Instagram Live with comedian Kelly K. Dub Walker, ready to talk even more. During that conversation, T once again circled back to those accusations of him being a snitch. But you already know it didn't stop there.
Beef or something, man, because I seen a post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in, I guess one of the Power, what's the name? I guess 2 of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show, and then they replaced you with Method Man, and they weren't expecting it or something?
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe. But nah, man, me and 50 cool. We just...
Tip wasn't done talking, and he brought up that infamous Crime Stoppers commercial yet again, this time during an interview on the Big Facts podcast. When they asked how he felt about people calling him a rat because of that ad, Tip doubled down, standing by everything he'd already said, and when they pressed him about New York rappers like 50 Cent constantly throwing shade over that same ad, Tip had his own slick response. That's when things really popped off, because about a week later, 50 finally clapped back. He jumped on Instagram, and in a now-deleted post, dragged Tip by reposting the interview clip with his own message. This was a week ago. This ninja was telling me about a comedy show he working on backstage. I don't like all this kind of ***. It wouldn't be a good idea to come around me again. Respectfully, stay away from me. Things got even hotter after King Von's tragic death, because Tip made some comments that instantly rubbed people the wrong way, and 50 was one of the first to call him out. Just days after Von and 2 others were killed in Atlanta on November 6, 2020, Tip decided to weigh in on the city's violence. He wrote, "Atlanta is a beautiful progressive city filled with black excellence. We uplift each other and win together. Stop coming here to kill each other. That's just played out." He captioned the post, "Handle your beefs in your city. Thanks in advance, King." But that message didn't sit right with everyone. And that's when 50 decided to check Tip again. 50 reshared an Instagram story posted by Von's sister Kayla, who was furious. She wrote, "And these are facts, but the energy he always putting in people's business need to be the same energy he need to make it right with his daughter. No way is my brother." 50 Cent got on his ass. With that, 50 amplified her words, making sure the whole internet saw Tip getting pressed. So when 50 caught wind of Kayla's IG story, he stepped in and checked Tip directly. He said, "You got to chill. You bugging for saying anything? They got casualties. This is real. I don't know what you was thinking, but rethink it. Now they hurting. They love that boy. He was way out. I bet you don't even realize they ready to come for you over what you just said. What who'd you from again? Come on now, it's quiet time." That shut T up for a minute. But you know he couldn't stay silent forever. Soon after, fresh rumors started swirling that Tip was close to landing a role in 50's Power universe, but supposedly lost it because he wouldn't stop throwing shots at 50. Of course, Tip had to clap back and clear the air, denying that his beef with 50 had anything to do with him losing the role. The whole situation blew up after Johnny Paulo, who plays Braden Weston on Power, told TMZ that T was actually lined up to play Davis Meanlean, the slick attorney who's now portrayed by none other than Method Man. And according to Michael Rainey, Jr., who plays Tariq, they pulled up on set one day, and boom, Method Man was just there. No warning, no heads up at all. And of course, the whispers started flying that some behind-the-scenes beef between 50 and Tip might have cleared the lane for Meth to slide into the role instead. But when Tip caught wind of that gossip, he jumped on Tony the Closer's podcast. To set the record straight, he swore there was no truth to the rumors about him being cast as Davis Meanlean and claimed that he and 50 actually shared a lot of respect for each other. The thing is, while Tip was out here praising 50, 50 stayed dead silent. He didn't confirm, he didn't deny, nothing. And if you know 50, you know silence ain't peace. He never forgets a beef, even when he's laying low. So don't be shocked if this tension between him and Tip explodes again, because with 50, it's never if, it's only when. As for the fans, once they pick a side, they're riding with it no matter what. One fan wrote, "You can be a non-cooperating snitch where you direct police to a situation they can look at closer, and they still land a conviction without the original witness testimony. I'm just saying, I've never in my life seen a sentence, a Crime Stoppers Tip commercial, community service, time served. No conviction for what was basically a small army's worth of guns. I like T, but damn, let me get some of those politicians you got under your thumb. If not, then you a snitch. Ninjas got 10 years plus for just one gun, and Tip had 30 plus. Another fan clapped back, saying 50 had no room to talk, dropping the classic mouse calling the rat a rodent jab. But now it's on you. What's your take on this whole war between 50 and Tip? Was 50 right for putting Tip on blast, or is this just the pot calling the kettle black?